Welcome to the airport. It's a beautiful April day, and we're going to do our first in a series of airplane reviews, looking at what it's like to own, operate different types of aircraft. We're going to start with the trusty 172 today. Welcome to the airplane. Down at private strip here, just north of the town of Coburg, a very good friend of mine. And we're in the 1971 172 today. Take a bit of a look at the airplane. It's 172, probably the most popular and most produced airplane of all time. And certainly a great airplane to own. Lots of parts available for them from OEM and aftermarket. Lots of used parts available. Your annual is going to cost you about $1,000 a year, assuming no major repairs are required, and your insurance for most private pilots is going to be about the same. So we're just going to go ahead and depart here, and we're going to do a circuit here at this strip. We're full fuel, but just me in the airplane today, but we got a 1,900-foot runway here, grass with lots of obstacles, and it's a pretty good performing airplane, so you get to see a little bit of that. Alright, so we've got 10 degrees of flap set. We're going to use all available runway. We're going to make a radio call just on the practice area frequency. Traffic in the area of Coburg, 172 Foxtrot Tango Whiskey Golf. We'll be departing private strip approximately 3.5 miles north of Coburg. And we'll be doing a circuit climbing originally to 1,500 feet. Alright, let's taxi to position. I've had a good look around, make sure no one else is dropping in on the field unexpectedly. Okay, we've got full power on the brakes. Okay, minimum RPM is obtained, 2,300, it's smooth, gauges are green, oil pressure's green, and off we go. A little bit of back pressure. Airspeed's alive. And there we go. Clear the obstacles there, bring the flaps up. So yeah, 172 is a great plane, even if you want to learn how to fly. You know, 9.5 gallons an hour is definitely not going to burn more fuel than that. So it's not a terribly expensive airplane to learn to fly in. It's nice and roomy, so you know, you don't not like a 150 that's very cramped, can be very tight on useful load when you put two reasonable-sized adults in it and some fuel. And then once you finish flying, you got something with a little bit of cross-country speed, comfort. You can take 4 people and a little bit of baggage if you don't go with full fuel, or you can take lots of baggage, 2 people and full fuel. Okay, primers, lock, masters on, mags are on, circuit breakers are in, lights are checked, carb hot. Mixture's rich. Brakes are set, fuel selector's on both. I'm just going to leave that carb hot, actually. Not very warm today, just lets the engine breathe. A white arc. Kind of an interesting approach into this field if you're landing going southbound. It's a big hill off the north end of the runway, so it's much better if you approach down through a bit of a valley, keep the hill on your right hand side. I was very happy with that. Okay, off we go. Very nice. This is a seriously nice flying airplane. So if you're looking to buy a 172, there's lots of options available. They started production in 1954, and other than breaking in around late 80s, and then they restarted in 1996, and they're still making them today. A 1970s vintage like this one, the market right now, depending on obviously current world events, but it's probably worth around the $40,000 to $50,000 range for a reasonable condition airplane. This particular version has almost 11,000 hours on it, and it still flies very well. So they're a long-lasting airplane. You can go up and down in value, obviously, depending on whether it needs more work or less work, and depending very largely right now on avionics. Avionics really changing right now in aviation, and sometimes the avionics to, say, upgrade to a IFR-capable aircraft today, it's going to cost you more than the 172 itself. So it depends on what sort of mission you're running. If you look at the earlier models of 172, say pre-1966, you've still got the 0300 Continental engine. They're normally worth a bit less. Now the 0300 is a 145 horsepower, 6-cylinder Continental. It's a very smooth running engine, very nice sound to it, nice to fly behind. They're a little more expensive on the overhaul, and they're a little less desirable, so they definitely take a bit of a hit in the price point. Around 1964 was the last year of the manual flaps. So anything after that is going to have your electric flap set up, but the manual flaps are very nice. There's nothing wrong with them there. 63 is the last of the ones without a rear window. Performance-wise, they upped the horsepower as the models went along, but they also seem to get sort of heavier and heavier with more trim, more radios, more features. So that certainly slows them down. There's lots of upgrades available. 180 horse is a very common and popular one. It's a very expensive upgrade to do on the airplane. So if you can buy one that's already got it, that's definitely the way to go, because it's going to cost you a lot more money to do that upgrade yourself. Lots of aftermarket and original parts available for the airplane in new and used. McFarlane Aviation makes lots of approved replacement parts, cables, gaskets, everything pretty much. Stole kits, knots to U fairings, interior plastics, it's all very available. So that's kind of a real nice feature. It's a good flying, camping airplane, good cross-country airplane, good training airplane. So, I mean, all around, I mean, this is why it's so popular and there's so many of them, is just because they literally are such a well-built, well-designed airplane that isn't so complex to be very expensive to maintain, and doesn't burn lots of fuel and gets the job done nicely.
I just talked to you on Toronto terminal flight following, whatever.
Okay, what's up?
No, I confused the two frequencies because I was listening on both, and I picked the mic on the wrong frequency. I picked the mic on like whatever flight following you're on.
Yeah, I did the same.
That must be to the habit.